Hi, it's Andy from PCR Global, and I've been doodling, and I thought you may be interested in my doodles. So what is this about? Well, basically, you heard me talking about the grab bag sort of mentality, and that's our mental grab bag and what we can keep in our minds. So every now and again, a subject comes up, and it's always good to refresh and raise our awareness. It may be the first time you've heard of it. It may be we've dealt with it before and we just need that little bit of a top up. So the subject that I'm going to be covering in this one is health and safety. And specifically the health and safety law poster. I'm sure we've all seen it. It's got the 10 things that employers must do. It's got the 4 things that we must do and what we must do if there is a problem. But there's a number of issues I feel that I see generally on the ground with this, and a lot of the time it's down to do with knowledge of the requirements of the actual poster. So why are we doing this? What's the actual purpose? Because many things, as we can see, many things we may not know. Some things we may have forgotten. Many things we may be wasting money on. We could be more efficient if we do them, and very importantly, sometimes we need to remain within the law. So hopefully this will cover some of those areas. So we are looking at the health and safety law poster. So just to remind ourselves, if you employ anyone, you must display the health and safety law poster or provide each worker with a copy of the approved leaflet or equivalent pocket card. First things there, we haven't got to display the law poster. We can provide a free leaflet or we can provide a pocket card. However, we must display the poster where your workers can easily read it. So if you've chosen to put the health and safety law poster up, then you're going to need to put that law poster up wherever your business are. So if it's in a number of locations, then you've got to put that in a number of locations. So the poster outlines British health and safety laws and includes some straightforward lists that tell workers what they and their employers need to do. The poster was updated in 2009, so that means there are new posters. There's been a more recent update with a different hologram on it, as you can imagine. People like to copy things. But we can download the free copies of the leaflet and the pocket card. So you can also obviously buy things, but you can get them free. So that's a part of the issue I see. And we'll go on to that in a minute with people spending a lot of money on it. What is actually written on the poster? So as we can see, let's go through these 10 things. So number 1, what have we got to do? Decide what could harm you in your job and the precautions to stop it. This is part of the employer's risk assessment. This is what employers must do, so they've got to do that. Then, in a way you can understand, explain the risks, how they are controlled, and also tell you who is responsible for this. It still amazes me, it shouldn't, but very often I'm still dealing with companies who do not actually know who is responsible for health and safety in their own company. Number 3, consult and work with your health and safety representatives in protecting everyone from harm in the workplace. So there's a couple of specific regulations out there for that, committee's regulations and the consultation employees regulations. But ultimately what we're looking at there is consultation. Remember the difference between communication and consultation. Consultation has feedback attached to it. Number 4, free of charge. Give you the health and safety training you need to do your job. Your employers should not be charging you for it. Free of charge, provide you with any equipment and protective clothing you need and ensure it is properly looked after. PPE. What next? Number 6, now we're looking at welfare, so toilets, washing facilities and drinking water. Really important again. Sometimes I go to locations and they don't have this. 7, provide adequate first aid facilities. That's going to come from doing a first aid needs assessment. First aid regs, as we know, is 1981. Look at the supporting guidance to work out what you actually need. Report certain incidences to the HSE. Have insurance. Again, this insurance, they must display that insurance where you can easily read it. Number 10, work with any other employers or contractors sharing the workplace. We deal with this a lot. Many workplaces are actually like a Venn diagram. So I tend to draw it out when I go to places to help explain. You can have a different location, the compound, other people working in the compound, and we have overlapping. All employers have overlapping responsibility for health and safety. They've got to communicate. What must we do as employees? Follow the training we're given. We've got to do that. Take reasonable care of our own and other people's health and safety. Don't act negligently. Don't get involved. I nearly said tomfoolery then. I've never even said that word before. Horseplay, another strange word. Anyway, moving swiftly on. We've got to cooperate with our employers on health and safety. But also, this is really important. Tell someone, your employer or supervisor or health and safety representative, if we think that the work there are, I should say, inadequate precautions. So we've got to report these things. And then the next thing that's going to be on the poster, the pocket card or the leaflet, is if there is a problem. Really important, guys. If we are worried about our health and safety in our workplaces, we should talk to the employers, talk to our supervisors, any health and safety representative. You can also, obviously, if you're still worried, then ultimately we can go to the HSE website and we can report any instances that we are concerned about. And we never wanted to get to this stage, but sometimes it will. Okay, moving on from that. So here's the website. So if you look on the HSE website, this is where it gets us. So it's from the Health and Safety Information for Employees Regulations. If we've got an ISO and we're having to do an evaluation of compliance to satisfy the ISO, then we are quite potentially, this law is going to be written into our, what some people will call the legal register. So that's important. We have to show our evaluation of compliance. Evaluation of compliance in this situation is going to be the health and safety poster, the free leaflet, or the pocket card. So just by going on the website, we can see where we can actually download them. We can read more about them. It's really good. They're also in other languages. My home language, of course. Right, before I go any further, I'm now just going to jump onto the internet. Let's have a look there. So here's the regulations, the health and safety information for employees regulations. We can see that. If we go down to regulation 4, click on number 4, it explains about where and how we must display. So it is a legal requirement. Using the tabs at the top of the screen, let's have a look what else we've got. So that's it. That's what I was showing you just now on Good Notes. But ultimately, we can just go in. We can get large print leaflets as well. So you may want to just download the leaflet and email or hand that out to everybody. Because if you're going to opt for the poster format, then you are going to need to put that in every workplace. Here's the web-friendly version of it. Again, it's got the 10 things. Right, it's got what employers must do, the 4 things, what we must do if there's a problem. So it's the same horse but a different jockey. This is what sort of slightly irritates me here. So if we now go to a Google search, we can see loads of people selling these posters. Some of these posters even look out of date. However, look at the price here. £24 plus VAT, £28. So a lot of organisations, as you can see on the left-hand side, are selling these and making a profit on it. Everybody's here to make a profit if you're in business, but ultimately when you go through, you should look. By the time you end up adding to cart and VAT on it and delivery, then ultimately you've spent an awful lot of money. When realistically, if you would have ordered them off the HSE website, then it's not going to cost you as much as these other companies are selling them for. So I'm just going to go through to buy this product. Let's have a quick look. So here we can see £12.50, £15. They're nowhere near £25, nowhere near £28. So please be very careful on that one. It really irritates me when I see that. And back to our Good Notes. So very quick, but what have we covered? Moving swiftly on. So issues. What are some of the issues that I see on the ground? What is the actual ground truth? Well, it's the wrong information. So often we're seeing a potential new health and safety officer or manager saying we have to display the poster. We now know we don't have to display the poster. So that can lead to wasted money. Lots of money spent on lots of posters. Because we're spending lots of money on lots of posters, that could end up that we don't spend so much money, we only have one. So we're then not disseminating that all-important information, which means, realistically, we are breaking the law. But we've got to get that information out. It's so important. And that can lead to a lot of wasted effort. So if you're driving around everywhere or posting these posters everywhere, then there is wasted effort, non-efficient, again, monetary loss. The one that really irritates me is number 5. Companies making money and selling overpriced posters. Not good. So that's it, really. So thank you. Thank you for what have I got here? If you learned something, fantastic. If you remembered something, well, that's the result for me. If you stayed awake, that's a good effort. But if you use the information and intent of the HSE Law Poster to promote the benefits of safe and healthy workplaces, then to me, you are bringing sexy back, as said by Justin Timberlake in 2006. So hopefully we went from the start to the finish and we didn't touch this. As always, thanks for listening.